Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining our SheStack community webinar. Today, we will talk with you about power of being real in tech. My name is Marina, and I'm moderator of this webinar today. First of all, I want to briefly run you through the intro regarding our SheStack community and our SheStack conference. And while I do, please type your name and where are you from in the chat so we can get to know each other. This year we had our first Global SheStack conference where we brought together more than 2,500 inspiring women in tech to discuss different topics such as gender equality, career development, women empowerment, and many, many others. And after this conference, we started our SheStack community on Discord. It's a place for women in tech to connect, to share different ideas and to support each other, and where we actually have our regular webinars. And we're getting ready for SheStack World 2 on October 23rd and 24th, and we would love for you to join us. And it will be 2 days of great talks and great insights. We will share the registration link in the chat, so sign up and become a part of our amazing community if you haven't already. And today I'm really excited to introduce our today's speaker, Anna Lebedieva. She is Global Talent Marketing Director at Intellias. Anna has over 14 years of experience in strategic marketing, and she has a really unique way of making things engaging and insightful. And today she will talk about the connection between vulnerability and creativity, and how actually being true to ourselves, how it can lead us to success in our work and our life. And I also more than sure that you will have a lot of questions during the presentation to Anna, so just share them, share your thoughts, share your questions in the chat, and at the end of the webinar we will have the time for Q&A session, and I hope we will cover most of them. So I'm really excited. Let's start. And Anna, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Marina. Hi, everyone. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And let's start. I will share my screen, my presentation, and we will continue from that. So, Marina, let me know if everything works well.
Yeah,
perfect. Great. So as Marina mentioned today, the topic of this webinar is about power of being real, about our talent of being vulnerable, and how it is related and connected to creativity, probably in tech or in your different other areas, or in our even private lives. So let's start with introducing myself one more time, but I will tell more details just to get to know me better. So I live in Berlin. I've been working as a marketing specialist for more than 14 years for now. And before in Intellias, I had been working mostly in marketing and creative agencies, developing different brands, identity, naming, and different communications, working with such global and famous brands as, for example, Pepsi, Samsung, Philip Morris. We've launched Budweiser on Ukrainian market in 2012. Also, I had been working with Toyota, Chivas Regal, and many more other famous and not very famous brands in Ukraine and globally. And in different industries, different areas. And also I was building different teams from 5 people to more than 30 people for now. And also I'm lucky to have a Effie Award in efficiency of marketing projects and Red Dot Award in design projects. Also, as one of my previous experiences and one of my part of my background is I was a co-founder and co-owner of event design studio, so I know everything about weddings and flowers and decorations, and I really like to do events and parties. This is my secret passion, to host people, to build the whole concept, and to develop it for different types of events. Also, to say more about myself as a person, not only about my career path, I can share my hobbies. I don't like to even call it hobbies because I'm not into something specifically in something one very deeply. I like many things, and basically my hobby is to try new things for myself, what I like, what I don't like, and always to explore. I like to do yoga and gym. This is my regular routine every day. And also sometimes I go for squash sessions. And also I really like natural wines and vinyl recordings. I have small collection for now, but it's growing. Also, I have my bike, which I like to use in the city and around the city to explore new places, architecture, and nature, and so many other things, which I always trying to do. Not risky, but sometimes I like snowboarding as well and other stuff. So, what is gonna happen today, right now? I will tell more about how to reframe vulnerability as a strength, not as a weakness. We will talk about vulnerability as a key to authentic leadership. Also, how to open to risk, criticism, and feedback, and how it helps to develop your innovative mindset, your creativity, and also I will give some practical tips for leaders or for managers or for people, for anyone actually. And we can start from the quote of Napoleon Bonaparte, who said that true strength lies in not showing your weakness, which is really outdated and not very relevant in our modern world, I would say. I'm not agree completely, because if we look to the leadership in this way, where we need to be bold, brave, loud, the loudest person in the room, we need to fight for our results and achievements. Usually, what it means for us as people or professionals, it means that it's all about aggressive competition, which is not healthy at all. It means that you always feel this pressure of high demands. It means that you need to be constantly efficient. It leads to micromanagement. You feel the pressure of quick results every day, better and better, faster, and the best results comparing to others. Of course, it means ignoring work-life balance. It leads to this culture of fear and punishment, even if it's not like punishment literally, but still you can feel that you're not doing great, you need to do better, to try harder. Also, it's all about focus on individual, and it is about no recognition for mistakes, and not learning from them, which is also very unhealthy. And of course, it's all about not enough of emotional support. So all of those behavior patterns basically is not a long-term strategy. So it leads to burnout, it leads to anxiety, it leads to feeling yourself not enough and not good enough. So I would say that still there are so many companies who have this culture of this bold leadership, and they communicate it to the market, they communicate it to newbies, and of course it works. But I'm not there. I would not like to work at such a culture. I would like to show you a small part of the video of one of my favorite researchers and psychologist, Brené Brown, who works and studies vulnerability for many years. She's great. When I was watching her TED Talk for the first time, in the middle, I was just I made it on pause and I was crying. I felt goosebumps and everything because it's really sincere and very honest. And yeah, today I'm also going to be very honest and transparent, and I will share maybe some stories from my professional experience and also from my private life. So this is what this topic all about. So yeah, I need to be completely honest with you guys. And if we talk about this leadership, like brave and bold, traditionally there is a stereotype that strength lies in control, the absence of emotions. We need to be always like serious, very strict to ourselves. We need to be very protective because we can be harmed somehow. So we always need to be very collected, very focused. And usually in this type of cultures, people associate vulnerability with the risk of being hurt or rejected, or which creates like a sense of threat. And it's not really ecological and sustainable when you always feel this like threat from everywhere. It can come to you. So I would say that this is like misconception, because vulnerability basically means being open to unknown and to emotions, which is basically a part of like authentic interaction and growth as a leader. And I can mention some example to remind you and myself what I do very often. When we were kids, we had this feeling, if you remember, before summer holidays, when school year is over and in front of you 2 or 3 months of holidays. And as a kid, you feel this anticipation of something will happen, something nice, something fun. We had so much excitement about that. We were expecting that we will meet new people, that we will go somewhere to countryside, or we will go to the sea with the family, or we will play outside the whole day, or I don't know, whatever we were going to do. We felt this anticipation, but still it was about unknown. We were not sure what is going to happen, but as a kid, you always expect that something nice would happen to you. And this is all about anticipation, not fear. But when we are becoming adults, we are growing up, and we are collecting all the fears we have, and we start building all that layers of protections, all that layers and I don't know how to protect myself from that risk and from potentially being hurt. So this is like natural reaction, of course, because it's really scary sometimes to communicate to people, to build your career, to make some hard decisions, and sometimes you really don't know what to do and how to react, and which solution to make. So yeah, it's scary, but we need to somehow to take us back to that feeling when we were kids, and when we were anticipating something nice, when we didn't know anything about the future. So I will show you a small piece of Brené Brown interview.
If you're at the top of a Fortune 500 company and your success metric depends on creativity and innovation, and you've set up a culture where vulnerability is seen as weakness, don't expect great results.
Don't expect the creativity.
No, because I mean, innovation by definition is idea, iteration, failure, iteration, failure, iteration. places where they're doing the most remarkable kind of high risk, high reward, innovating, huge tolerances for vulnerability. And so if you have leaders who are either preaching a gospel of vulnerability as weakness or modeling that, just don't expect great things.
Yeah, so this pressure of this bold leadership usually doesn't lead to great results because it kills creativity, it kills flexibility, it kills your ability to think different, to find a new way of solutions. And sometimes we need to do it for the first time, which we haven't done before. So yeah, and I would like to show you some very simple examples what vulnerability is. I will say this word 1,000 times during this hour, so don't be very judgmental. So some examples. What it is. Admitting a mistake. This is probably not the most complicated, but admitting a mistake, first of all, being honest with yourself is very important. And then you can admit that mistake with your team, with your boss, for example. And it doesn't mean that it was complete fail. It means that it was an experience which we can fix, which we can learn from, and where we can find new ways of doing things. Also, another example is asking for help. I used to have like huge issues with asking for help at work, in my private life. And then when I learned how much you can earn from this, I started doing this very carefully, very with small steps, but it's way more healthy if you ask for help. Then people can try to help you because they think you need that help. So you can even communicate with your teammates I would rather not help you until you ask me for that. And it builds like really trustful relationships. Also, one of the example is sharing personal fears and anxieties. It's also very hard to start doing this because, as I said before, we are all collecting those fears and previous experience where we had some, probably we were hurt sometimes, but every other time would be different, and you can get more than you can lose. Apologizing sincerely is also just sounds easy, but it's not, because saying exactly what you mean, what you feel, not only because it just, oh, sorry, it takes some courage from you. Setting boundaries, it's also very sensitive and vulnerable moment when you need to communicate and to address to people, or especially to your bosses, that this way how you treat me or how you give me the feedback is not my way of communication. It's not like it works for me. You need to have some tutorial how I operate as a person, how I operate as a emotional human being. And so you need to communicate how it is possible and how it is no way to communicate to me or to give me feedback, for example. Also taking risks that might lead to rejection. Of course, we all had this experience before when we were rejected. It doesn't matter professionally or in private life, but yeah, like in 90% you will be not rejected. It just feels like it before you take this risk. For example, if you're the person who are more introvert, very shy, and really scared to meet new people and to come to new community or to new environment, and usually when you do this, people will smile to you. You can have like really warm conversation. You can feel accepted. You can feel appreciated. And only like one time in 100 can be something like not really warm. But also you can meet new friends. You can meet new connections for your business or whatever. So rejection is very rare thing, but mostly like 90% of the time we are scared of this, so it's not happening. Speaking up with an unpopular opinion, it's also pretty scared sometimes, but when you do this, when you try to do this for the first time, first of all, at that moment you feel huge power, that you have different opinion, you have different point of view, and people react to this very well. You can feel that you get really nice response. Trying something new outside of your comfort zone, it's also very good exercise, let's say, to try new things, to try new experience. And it sounds very cheesy and basic, but always when we learn something new, we collect new experience and we decrease our level of anxiety to something new and out of comfort zone. And acknowledging our limitations. We are, of course, we have those, and we are not capable of anything. So to be self-aware about where are my limits, like where I cannot push myself, force myself, it's really good to know. And the next topic, which I would like to talk about, it is Japanese craft. I call it philosophy, because Kintsugi, it's not only about mending these broken cups or bowls. Behind that, you can find really nice reflections, how we as people work. For example, what it means. If it's broken, the first task is to accept that it is broken. And sometimes what we do, we feel like something is broken in us, as like mental health or some issues or some big, I don't know, problems in life. But the first step, what we should do is acceptance, of course, and then to make a decision to fix it, to mend it, to move forward, but not in a very like ignorant way. We need to consider and to think about it and to accept it completely. Another point, what is mended becomes an entirely new, unique object. And we as people also, if we healed, if we recollect ourselves, some of our traumas, we probably were in therapy, or we made some effort to fix it, we will be never previous version of ourselves. So we will be new and unique. And another point, that it can become a masterpiece only if you choose a long fundamental method of repair, not a quick synthetic fix. So what they do, they never mend these cups or bowls or any objects with synthetic materials. For example, if they can't find some pieces of it, it just missed, they can't replace it with plastic or, I don't know, some not natural materials. They always use only like wood or a stone, something from the nature. And that's how they rebuild this like masterpiece. So yeah, and it's like with people as well. So nothing artificial. We can't just find a magical pill to fix our life or our mental health. So it means that we need to use like long way of healing and recovering. And another thought that there is no need to hide the scars, because they create this new masterpiece basically, and you even can highlight them with gold. That's what all Kintsugi about, because they use the beautiful gold material to emphasize those broken parts and missed parts, and basically those scars made us who we are. And what is mended is stronger than what was the whole before. It never breaks in the same place again. So if you rebuild this object, and something happened to it, it's never broken in the same place. So you will have new experience, new emotions, new feelings, and you become stronger and stronger with this experience. And also, the last but not least, the polishing step. They are very serious about this final step of polishing, because the quality of polishing can be seen, only felt when you touch it. So it's like when we can't be healed without feelings. So this is a long way, this is a long path, but this is how it works. I think this is great metaphor for us going through difficult times or some issues or some problems at work. And with all of this, I would like to say that vulnerability is definitely a strength, not a weakness. And when it comes to leadership, vulnerability is often like mistaken for weakness. And all the research and practical experience show that demonstrating vulnerability to your team as a leader, it definitely can be a strength, not a weakness. And embracing vulnerability is required to build trust, first of all, to encourage open communication, to ask inconvenient questions, and build a stronger, more cohesive team. And here we are discussing this transformative power of vulnerability in leadership. And let's go through some practical tips for being more vulnerable with your team. What it is exactly? It is all about uncertainty, as we said before, about unknown things, about taking the risk, and about emotional exposure. So it means that we need to admit when we really don't know the answers, be honest, saying this to our teammates or our boss or whoever. It also includes sharing your challenges and being open to feedback. Of course, we always have to expect some different feedbacks, not always positive, critical as well, and it's very helpful. It's the courage to show up authentically and be open to emotional exposure and risk. So long story short, it makes you seem more human. And I can tell you the example from my experience when I had to go to perform for the first time. It was huge audience offline, like 500 people. It was a big internal launch for the brand, which we created back then, and it was the whole room of directors of the biggest retailer in Ukraine. And I had to present the brand to this audience to sell them the new concept of the brand, showing the identity, new communications, videos and stuff. And I was so in stress. I was so worried about how I will do this, how it's gonna go. And I was like, yeah, you need to be brave and confident, and don't show your weakness to your team. And then I was like, oh no, I don't care. And I just told my team that, guys, I'm so in stress. I'm shaking. Just I don't know if I'm even capable to do this. And I got such a huge support from my team. They were giving me a hug. Like 15 minutes before I went to the stage, it was the whole like care and love and support, and I felt like I have more and more power to do that. and more bravery. And I will never forget this moment of sharing your vulnerability and your fears, and to get like refilling all those resources to be capable to do really a big thing for you. So if you ask yourself, like, can vulnerability be learned? The short answer, yes. If you're being transparent, open, and honest, then you're doing great. You're doing vulnerability, basically. And here are some small advice, what you can do and how you can evolve and develop. First of all, you can start from very small steps, not being like fully open immediately in every situation, but to try like to touch the water in the ocean with your toes, and then to go there completely. So you can start practicing vulnerability with yourself first. Like, for example, like I said previously, trying to do new hobbies, because always when we try something for the first time, we feel like we definitely will be losers, we will fail, we will be the worst, especially if it is something like competitive sports or competitive games. But it doesn't make sense. It's not what you have to think about, failing or being the best. It means just to try and to, like when you're in a very dark forest and your navigation doesn't work and you can't see anything, and it's really scary. But anyway, you need to find a way, and you need to just go and try, and then you will have you can see something new. You can find you can learn something new about yourself, first of all. So try new things. I don't know if you never tried like pottery classes or dancing classes, or I don't know, dinner with strangers, or it can be anything, something that you haven't done yet. And it will be definitely the way out of your comfort zone, but it's going to be a new wonderful experience where you can get new emotions and learn so much about yourself. A reflection journal, also very helpful to write down moments when you felt vulnerable. For example, every day in the end of the day, you can just make a list of small vulnerable moments where you felt like, oh my God, I took the risk. I tried something new. And then it's easier and easier, and you're becoming stronger and stronger. Also ask for feedback. For example, if you like trying to be more vulnerable, you can ask people how they felt, if you're open enough, if you are emotional enough, or you're not enough emotional. So it's always very helpful. Also embrace discomfort, as I mentioned a few times already. So yeah, this also very helpful. And explore emotions through meditation and mindfulness. I would say that probably like more than 15 years ago, when I started doing yoga for the first time, this was just the time when yoga just was coming to Ukraine, because it was not there. And when we were watching this Sex and the City, which was 22 or 24 years ago, and they had this yoga routine, like very regular thing. But yeah, I was like, yeah, just for physical activities, it's nothing mindful. And with the time, when I started doing some like mindful practices or meditation, I was like, yeah, probably those people are kind of weirdos. But yeah, now it's just my hygienic routine, and it helps me to calm down. It helps me to be focused. It helps me to reconnect with my inner peace. It helps me to communicate with people, to reconnect with the external world as well. So it's just really magical effect. even like 5 minutes meditation every day makes huge difference for your mental health, first of all. Learn from other leaders, observe those who effectively use vulnerability, and you can notice it. Yeah, you can ask them about some advice. You can see how they behave, how they act, what they use as tools. Of course, there are so many podcasts and books about this. And Brené Brown, she is just amazing. I recommend her video on Netflix. It's more than 1 hour. It's just awesome. And another recommendation here is practice empathy. We all know that empathy helps us to be not only sensitive, but also better understand other people, their emotions, and to try to put ourselves on their place, and to also to, I don't know, to work together, to be helpful, to be supportive sometimes. And it builds really open collaboration and communication in a team and in the company in general. How this all leads to creativity. So the ironic thing is that you would feel more confident and powerful once you present yourself with vulnerability, when you're open, when you are honest and transparent with your emotions. I would say the hardest part is to no longer afraid of what other people think about you and your actions. I'm still learning, and I think this is a never-ending process because it's very important what people think, what they can say, of course. But we need to like put ourselves out there in different ways to express our personality everywhere, in relationship, in our family, in our career, with your art and creativity, being open-hearted and wholehearted. And it gives a lot of power and strength in the end, but this is a process, of course. And I would say here about creativity, also returning and coming back to our childhood. I believe that we are not earning this creativity with experience or with skills. We actually losing our creativity since we were kids until we are grown-ups. Because if you remember yourself in your childhood, you probably can find many memories where you were trying to create anything from nothing. So you could play with sticks, you can play with sand, you could play with anything actually, and with anyone. And to get to know new people were so easy. You were just coming to them and say, "Hey, my name is Anna. What's your name? Let's be friends already." And we are losing this ability to communicate and this creativity to create. We need to just to be very mindful and careful with this, because we have a natural desire to create things. Rather, it can be a dinner for your family, or something that you, I don't know, paint, for example, or you create a dance, or you create a business or a project. But we always have this necessity to create things. We need to remember how we were doing this when we were kids, and to return this feeling and this openness of our heart to new things, basically. And here is the quote of Marina Wheeler, who is a partner of Pentagram, which is one of my favorite agencies in the world. It was started like a design studio, and now it is a big company working with like the most famous brands on the market globally, and they do incredible things. And she said, vulnerable moments can bring a lot of creativity and make ideas flourish. This is the short version, but I would read for you a long quote of hers. Whether it is from singing, sketching, painting, or dancing, I always feel energized coming out of each creative work that allows me to explore my fragility. From perceiving art as a form of escape, I eventually recognized the importance of facing my emotions and tackling my problems during my creative work. I no longer have to tiptoe around my creative ideas with a greater understanding of my values and beliefs. And I believe the authenticity in the way I present my work enables others to connect with me. Expressing vulnerability is difficult, but also rewarding, and greatly dares us to do something new and incredible. And I love this idea because also Rick Rubin's, if you know his famous book, The Creative Act, The Way of Being, the main idea of the book about not creating what audience or like your customer expect, but to create something that you want to create, that you feel like doing this, and that the whole world and reconnecting with the world is anyone has access to it. So it's all about your personality, it's all about your emotions, your feelings, and you need to trust no one but yourself. So for me, this is what connects creativity and vulnerability. For me, it's like the completely very related, very connected, and one from another can't exist. This is like, I don't know, probably my not popular opinion, if you remember from previous slides. And I would like to share with you our latest project at Intellias, because when I came to the company, for me it was obvious that Intellias has really strong brand with great positioning, which is all about people, and it proved by the culture of the company. I could feel it from the very beginning. And when we started working on the strategy for this year, the whole team came with the idea that we need to show real people who work at Intellias, not only like brilliant engineers who creates like mind-blowing technologies, but also like real people who have their hobbies, families, their pets, their strengths and weaknesses. And that's where we created this campaign, and we showed this not only the culture of freedom and acceptance, where you can make a mistake where you can learn from them, and where you can be as creative as you are capable of. So I'll show you the video and you will understand what I'm talking about.
The tech world is all about innovation and perfect code. The tech world is all about innovation and perfect code. But behind it all, there are real people. Absolutely not perfect people. Who have good days and bad days. Work days and what on earth am I doing days. Who take sick leaves even when they're not sick. Who make memories and meet deadlines. Feel happy, exhausted, excited, burnt out, and feel free when nobody sees. Who catch their balance, the moment, or a cat, kind of. Who build new systems and break the rules. Who can do splits and survive 100 sprints. Who can't wait to grab a snack. Who have snuggly dogs and mean dogs. Who go fast and go home. Who forget to turn their flash on. These are the people behind your favorite app, your driverless car, your digital revolution. These are real people capable of amazing things. Intellias, engineering by people.
Yeah, and me being not perfect and not turning the full screen for you guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, perfection is boring. So yeah, we actually trying to show the whole market that being perfect is not so important, like being real at first. And yeah, I think this is an amazing campaign for our company, and in general, the whole idea of it gives you very warm feelings. Something else to add is that vulnerability without boundaries is not vulnerability. So it means that vulnerability is not about oversharing. It's not about showing everything, like what you feel. Yeah, because it has limits and boundaries, especially at work. Yeah, I will show you also Brené Brown regarding this topic.
When I go work with organizations, sometimes I'll hear someone say something like, how often should I cry in front of my team? And I'm like, oh my God, like that's not what I'm saying. Vulnerability is not about, self-disclosure. Like I know leaders who never cry, who are very vulnerable and transparent. And I know leaders who cry all the time who are just BSers. And if there's, vulnerability is great. Faux vulnerability or like fake vulnerability, because vulnerability seems to be a thing right now. Mm-hmm. That pisses people off.
So you're not advocating for people to.
Yeah, fake vulnerability is the worst. And talking about this like oversharing, for example, when I was going through really hard times in my life over half a year, and I was the leader of big team with very like important big projects, and of course I was not completely like in my best time and resources. And I couldn't share that I was going through divorce, for example, to my team, because it could affect our efficiency and our relationship. So over like probably more than a year, they didn't know about what I was going through. And then when everything was kind of over and I still was not in the best place, I shared only because I moved to another apartment closer to the office and invited them to my housewarming party, and they were like, "Where is your husband?" I was like, "Oh, it's over." And yeah, and then we talked, and I was vulnerable to share my private life. But at that moment, it was right moment to share. It was right moment to build this open communication even more than it was before. But before that, it was not the right moment. It would destroy like perception, me as a leader, me as a person who can promote the team, who can present the projects, who can sell like big contracts. So yeah, it was just a moment where you decide where are these limitations of vulnerability professionally. And the last slide, I would say, next time you feel like retreating into your protective armor, we all have our coping strategies, I know. Remember that courage starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen and heard. And this is it from my side. Thank you.
Wow, to be honest. Anna, thanks so much for your talk today. I don't know, but for me, it was so inspiring and motivational speech. Just wow.
Thank you.
Like our generation, we are so focused on achieving things, and we are so results oriented that we sometimes we forget to live, but just to live our lives. Yeah, and I like really one phrase like about building your work around your life. It really has such a deep meaning for me, but sometimes I forget about it. And you reminded me how important that is. So thank you. And and also you reminded me how important it is to take care of our inner child. Yeah, that feeling of honesty and being real we had as kids, and in childhood we were brave. Yeah, we built strong friendships and also found happiness in the simplest things. And
Yeah,
wow.
true,
Really
true.
great. And also about Kintsugi philosophy, and about like showing these cracks, yeah, instead of hiding them. It's really a great reminder for us that our struggles can actually make us stronger and more unique.
Yeah, and make us ourselves, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Thank you. So let's move to the Q&A session.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe dedicate our 8 minutes we have, yeah, for it. So I see several questions in the chat for you. So let's start with the first from Maya. I work in a team of mostly men, and while we talk about gender equality, I feel pressure to be strict and follow the rules. How can I keep my true self in this situation?
Wonderful question. I feel you, girl. I know what you mean. Uh, of course, we now we all pretend that we live in this equal world with equal rights, with all the 50-50 approach. But let's be honest, we are not there still. We have like long way still, and especially in these corporate environments, it's still a lot of men's world, and I know many companies where this toxic masculinity is a thing, and people manipulate with it, people use it as a power, as their, like, I don't know, regular tools, and it's not fine, it's not okay. But I would say that this is probably the hardest to balance between being a strong leader or manager, or just, I don't know, professional as a woman, and being like staying vulnerable, not losing your femininity, because of course it seems like this femininity and masculinity doesn't have place at work in our professional life, but it's not like that. Actually, it's all about energies, and it's all about completing each other. And when we work man and woman all together, femininity is important in building culture, in building a teamwork, and masculinity is also very important. And that's why we need to embrace and develop our femininity. So it's even harder when you need to be like strong enough, and also be feminine, and be kind, be open, be emotional. But it's our nature, and our femininity can be our strengths. So we need to find it first for ourselves, to develop it the second, and to express it the third, the hardest part of this. So, for example, if you need, as a woman, to talk to your boss about your salary raise, I don't know, just the simplest example, where you need to be strong, bold, to fight for your rights, for your salary, and being vulnerable at the moment, right? Because you know what you want, you probably know the number which you want, and in your mind you have just the idea, like, it's only two scenarios. If he or she like says me, yes, okay, you can get what you want, and another scenario, you're fired. But it's not like that. There is the whole scale, it is the whole range of different scenarios, and we are thinking only about something like on maximum positive or on maximum negative. But there are many ways to discuss, there are many ways to show yourself, and of course you're taking the risk to even talk about your salary, but this is your courage. But then be honest and say, like, I don't feel comfortable, I don't feel happy, I need this and that. And yeah, just talk about it. This is huge risk, but we need to be brave enough to start talking about our fears and our comfort. So yeah, this is a hard part, but we need to learn.
Yeah, it's really, it sounds challenging, but great recommendations you shared. So the next question from Elara, how did you reach this level of mindfulness? Did you have a mentor, or is it all based on your life experiences?
I don't have a mentor. I tried many things in mindfulness. First of all, I started myself like doing physical practices like yoga and everything around it. Then I started meditate. Then I failed because I was not going anywhere. I didn't feel like it's developing somehow. Then I started adding some different mindful practices as, for example, sound healing or Kundalini yoga. So I started to explore different other spiritual practices, and it helped me to understand more about myself first and about different directions. Then I was twice in Bali, and I went to different temples and mosques to talk to them, like how it works, what do I need to do, what I do wrong, and stuff. Also, I'm in therapy for 4 years. It helps a lot. It's kind of mentorship, but it's real therapy. Also, I tried ayahuasca, if you know, you know, twice, and it also was very helpful. Yeah, I mean, I tried many things, and it's the whole journey and years. So yeah, mentor is also a good option, I think, for that.
For me, for now, the best experience was Vipassana for 5 days, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, great.
And also the ice meditation. So it works for me
Cool.
the best.
Yeah. Yeah, also this.
Yeah, okay. And we have the last one question from Sophia. I would love to hear about your experience working in male-dominated industries. Was or is it hard for you, and does it get easier with time?
It is. It really gets easier with the time, with experience, with different cases. And, you know, it's what I said. When I was trying to be more like them, masculine, it didn't work for me well. They were using their power way better and manipulative, and they made me like go to my daily issues and stuff. So it didn't work for me well. But then when I started being more and more myself, feeling comfortable expressing myself, sometimes being red blushed and with these red spots on my neck, being very worried to say something. And with the time, it's easier and easier. And yeah, this is all about like expressing who you are. And even like recently, I told my boss that I'm not going to be that bold leader. I will be soft. Okay, you can call me soft, but it doesn't mean that I'm weak. My kindness and open heart makes me way stronger than bold leaders. So yeah, anyway, I will win with this approach, not with this, you know, iron balls. I don't have them anymore.
Yeah, some stereotypes and stigmas that we have. Yeah, that we have to have these iron balls, and only in this way we can achieve some results as a women. But it's not true, absolutely. Okay, everyone, it seems like it was the last question we can discuss because also our meeting time is up. And thanks a lot for being here and for taking part in our webinar. And Anna, thank you once again for your informative presentation and for taking time to answer the questions. So thanks everyone for your participation, and remember to join our CEST community on Discord to continue the conversation, and stay updated on future events. And please feel free to register for our CEST conference in October. So we are looking forward to seeing you again soon. So bye.
Thank you for coming and thank you for having me.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.